But honestly, as we go forward, knowing what's happening is critical to voting, to conservative activism, and all these things that are going to be necessary to move our our positions, whether it's on life or the economy or whatever, immigration, these issues. In order to move these things forward, we have to know what's going on. Okay, so the question in that for you who's doing it is, how do we make our voice heard? How do we get our positions to be known and understood? We're talking about deplatforming and all this other stuff we see going on. How do we work around that? What's the future for that? How do we go forward from here? Since most of us have relatively intelligent positions, I mean, what we're saying is not perfect, but it is thought out. It's not the KKK. It's not, all of these things we're being characterized as. How do we get out in front of that? You've done it, but how can other people do that?
So I think there's two parts to that. There's the cultural kind of approach that the right needs to take in this country when it comes to allowing information to get out there and whatnot. And then there's also the independent journalist part, the media part, all that stuff. So I'll touch on the cultural part really quick, because obviously, politics is downstream from culture. When it comes to who dominates the media in this country, who dominates Hollywood, who dominates education, who dominates literally everything, every single major part of our culture, it is the left. And it's not just like 85%, it's like 95% in a lot of these situations where the media is dominating. Absolutely. Conservatives need to, if they're in college or they're listening to this and they have a son or daughter that's going to college or something, get involved in tech. We need more conservatives in tech. Get involved in journalism. We need more conservatives in journalism, and even entertainment, things like that actually guide the direction of this country. And the reason why the left is so dominant in the media is because the culture allows for it. They don't have Hollywood calling them out. They don't have tech censoring them. They don't have any of this stuff. So that's the first part. And that's a major, major factor here in allowing conservative, or it's almost not even conservative news now. It's kind of just, it's almost like just anything that's not crazy, right? Just facts, and that's it. Like that's what we get out there. But when it comes down to where do we go now in journalism and reporting, I encourage people, you want to go maybe that journalism route or that media route. There is a cultural and then there is a media approach. They kind of conflate. But as for the cultural approach, if you are going to college or you have a daughter or son that's going to college, encourage them to get involved in whether it be journalism, whether it be tech, whether it be any academia, any of these things that the left absolutely dominates. And we're not talking about like a small number that the left dominates by. We're talking, 90% in this country when it comes to these incredibly important areas. And the reason why I bring up this cultural part is because these groups, tech, Hollywood, all these groups, they have a cultural impact when it comes to letting the media get away with stuff. So there can be a crazy report generalizing all Trump supporters as KKK members. All of these groups don't do anything about it because they're dominated by the left in this country. Now, when it comes to, absolutely, exactly, there's no accountability. And people with massive influence have they're able to shed a lot of light on situations that they dislike. So we need more conservatives. And it doesn't mean that every single conservative that enters entertainment is going to be successful, but it does mean that we have more at-bats and more opportunities to have big names in these industries, people that, the next people that make the next big app, all these things. We just need more opportunities to get conservatives into these fields that are dominated by the left. Now, when it comes to the media is kind of a different approach, because obviously the mainstream media dominates, Democrats dominate the mainstream media. They're around, depending on which figure you look at, it's around 90% of Democrats that are in these fields. We need, the right in this country. We've needed to go to social media. That's where you see people like me that do street reporting and whatnot. And when it comes to where do we go next? Well, we need more people in journalism. We need more people in entertainment and media. And I encourage people all the time, get involved in street reporting. Maybe it's your thing. Maybe you want to go do interviews. Maybe you want to go interview business owners about how the lockdowns have affected their lives. We need more people on the right and more level-headed people, right? People that feel like they have something good to say, that are dedicated to the facts. Because that's another problem as well, is when we turn to social media, we also, it's kind of the Wild West a little bit for the right. And so what we need more than everything right now, more than anything right now, is individuals that are getting involved in the media, getting involved, that are dedicated to facts.